Welcome everybody. We have a new project that I'm really excited about, building a Cob wood-fired oven. We're going to do it right here. You can see the circle of the area and the size. I've been looking at lots of Cob oven making videos on YouTube, and there's only one that talked about dimensions and proportions, and that was by a woman in West Virginia. I will put the link to that video at the bottom underneath this video for you, and there's a couple other ones that were pretty good, but she was the only one that talked about proportions, and her oven was like almost as big as we want ours, and it was 58 inches across at the base, which is just under 5 feet. So I decided to go for 7 feet at the base, and that's the size of the circle you see here. I measured 7 feet, put a pole in the ground, a little branch. That was my barbecue poker stick, but I need to replace it anyway. And then I put a string that's loosely tied around the middle, and this little trowel, garden trowel, on the string, and went all the way around and made the circle. And I live in the Rocky Mountains with access to a lot of stone and rock. There's a few stones there. I'm going to gather them all up. I have them all over the place and put them here before I start working. And after the next step, which I will videotape anyway, is I take away this patch of lawn I already started, level it pretty good, probably go about 3 inches down from the existing lawn, fill that with sand and flat rocks like I built this patio with here. We have lots of those here in Montana on our place, and just lying around in different spots. And so we'll cover this with the flat rocks before we put the large stones to make the stone supporting base. The flat rocks will keep it from sinking into the ground. Also, the sand will provide drainage, and that's how I did the patio with sand and flat rocks, and those rocks have all stayed in place and haven't shifted much or sunk into the ground or anything like that. And so that's where we are now, just getting started. I'll add to this video in a little while, trying to get done in time for my wife's birthday, a little less than a month from now. Okay, so I've got most of my circle dug out, still working on that. Thought I'd talk about next steps and materials a bit. So I mentioned a little while ago that we're not using any concrete, too much concrete in the world already, I said. But the other thing is, we live in the Rocky Mountains in Montana. We've got rocks all over the place that we live on, that we belong to, and we gather them for building projects. And I had a old building project out back there of a stairway I started making a long time ago, and then that got destroyed by the construction of our garage. And long story short, anyway, so we're going down there and gathering those rocks and bringing them up here for this project. And there's lots of other rocks in different places. So we're just using materials that belong to this place like we do. And that we can gather without going to some big box store and spending money. So what we've done here, as I dig the circle out, I'm piling that dirt up over there, and the next step will be to get this sand, small gravel pebble mixture that I had in the stairway building project that I'm finding as I dig up rocks. And I'll take this and some additional sand. There's a variety of soils on this 5 acres, including really sandy places and really heavy clay areas. So we'll use that sand and to finish covering the circle before we put the flat rocks down, and then the more the larger rocks like that, and that these building type rocks will go on top of the flat rocks. And this is our principle we follow for all building projects on the farm, is reuse and recycle and reduce the amount of participation in the economic system as far as we can. And there are places we can go to get recycled materials. There's a good one in Missoula called Home Resource, and a few other places that are a little more anonymous. And that's what we're doing here. So finish digging, put on the sand and gravel mixture, lay down the flat rocks, and then the building stones on top of that in a circle. And when we're done with that, fill it in with that dirt and other objects like these bones that my dogs have gathered over the decades, different dogs. They go up into the woods there and gather bones from carcasses and bring them home, and sometimes we give them things with meat with big bones, and that'll go in the middle. Got nothing else to do with it. The dogs aren't interested in those old bones anymore, and so we'll fill in after we build the wall. Okay, enough for now. When I say wall, I mean the circular foundation for the oven, stone wall kind of thingy. Okay. So we got that first step of the foundation done. Just digging out a relatively level area for the rock support system to go in. And as you can see, we have a little slopes and a little hill here, and that's why some parts of the digging were deeper than others. And my next step is to put some of this sand in there before I put some of the flat rocks in, which will be the support for the building style rocks. So we're to the point now where we're going to put the sand down in the circle here, but I want to filter out some of these bigger rocks. You know, they're good for the driveway and the trails, the walking trails around here, but not for setting the stones in. So for this kind of work, I use the rabbit cage wire. And if I wanted even finer sand, I've got this window screen. Yeah, if I want a really fine sand, like for fitting in between the fire bricks, some of the later stages of this work, that's what we use. So we'll do that here. You just screen it. And dump it in the other wheel. Get that debris and big rocks out. And then oh, there's a few of them that missed here. Okay. Yeah, we can use our fingers too, you know. It's okay. Some of our most reliable long-used tools. So we already have some there. Boy, I didn't give myself a lot of room to work with here. I'm going to turn it around.
Can we move this one?
Now the stick is still in the ground because we're going to do some design measurements before we put the rocks in. I'm going to make a couple of more circles inside the circle, get some proportions figured out. So now I will spread the sand, then I level it again. Not super level at this stage of the job. Orange and red.
Those are cool.
Haven't seen those before. Oh, this rain is bringing out a lot of different.
Yeah, there's another one over here.
Oh, there's a little one. How about that? Okay.
Cute.
So I'll just spread this out, finish this area, and we'll do a little more leveling and go to the next one. Okay, that's good. So I moved the compass point stick over about 5 inches to make a circle within the circle to see what a approximately 10-inch shelf in front of the oven door would look like if you did it with this kind of a circular pattern. and you can see it tapers off on the edges. And okay, so if we just wanted a shelf with some tiles right in front of the door, the oven door will be right about here. We don't have to have the shelf go all the way to the back like that. Well, we could fill that in with cob and still have additional thermal mass. And we're just scooting the inner circle over. So this circle I put here would represent the outside of the oven dome. Now if I do another circle about 3 inches in radius shorter, now let's see, 6 inches, we would have the approximate thickness of the walls of the dome thermal mass and the approximate size of our cooking area inside the oven. So I'm going to tie that. Circle for the interior, showing the thickness of the walls of the oven. Okay, I didn't go all the way to here because this will be the doorway of the oven, but it gives us an idea. Now we can lay our rocks for the base, but that's kind of what we're looking at there. Oven doorway about like that. A little shelf to set things on with some nice tiles. Okay, we fit some flat rocks into the circle, and now I'm just going to take a little sand and throw it on there and sweep it into the cracks in the rocks. So this is the platform for the big building rocks to get on, minus the dog. He can't get enough attention. Okay, well, it's been about a month exactly since I started on this project. I don't know why I started a project like this during harvest time when I have to work with the corn and apples and pears and everything, and tomatoes, all the boxes of stuff we've been bringing in. But I have to get this done before the weather gets cold. Today I will fill it with dirt, at least part way. I haven't got it to the height I want it yet, so that the oven's about waist high when we're done. So just thought I'd show you. So I'll do some more after I fill this in with dirt. I wanted to put the dirt in today because it's going to rain tomorrow And I thought it'd be good if the rain can push this dirt down into those interior cracks more, fill them in, and then I'll put some gravel and pebbles on top of the dirt so that the cats don't use it for a litter box. So that's later today. I've got to go eat lunch. Okay, so when you fill up, I'm waiting for this car to go. I'll edit that in. When you fill up the space with dirt, you throw the dirt across at the cracks and holes like this, and that will fill them up pretty good. You see that? Just toss it. I mean, you don't have to throw it like a hard ball, or just good enough so it goes in, and then as it fills up, it'll provide more and more structural support. Around this same time every September, end of the summer, we get these swarms of little blue gnats. I don't know if you are seeing them with this camcorder or not, but I found out the real interesting thing about them is they can be really thick in the air, but they won't go under a covering like this canopy or the deck over there. You can see those little gnats flying around, but they won't go under the roof of the deck or even under the thick boughs of the nut trees there, the filbert trees. Hazelnut trees. They'll fly outside of them. They won't go in the grape arbor there. They have to be under open sky all the time. They can't go into a shelter. It's really dramatic sitting here under the canopy because there's like a square space here that they don't go in, or if they accidentally go in, they go right out. And so when they're really thick, it's dramatic that this is the freeze zone where you don't get the gnats on you. Very interesting phenomena. These little open sky only gnats. No shelter for these buddies. So, about halfway through filling this up with dirt, but not quite with the height that we want. But when it's halfway filled with dirt, you want to get in there and stomp it down a bit, and dirt, rocks, other debris, filling it in, and then we will get it to the height we're going for and fill it in the rest of the way, and then put the cob and everything on top of that.
Making up my own wind.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right, Jennifer.
Was that? It was off.
Wasn't turned on?
Yeah, I went to pause it and then that turned it on. Okay, now I got to do this all over. Okay, so come to a point now to step on the dirt again as we've been filling it more, and the rock wall is pretty much completed. I'm going to do a little more cob mortar and filler work on some of the big gaps, and just minimal mortar work here. We're relying on the weight of these stones to provide the structural stability and how well they're fitted together. You know, we did mostly me, did a lot of thoughtful artistic observation on which stones go where, and the little rocks to fit in. So it's really sound. When we get that done, then we add enough dirt so we get to the pretty close to the top, and we'll put some glass bottles in for insulation, and some sand and straw, and then a layer of fine sand on the top, and then we can place the fire bricks and then the cob after that. A lot of artistic placement of cob I anticipate here. It's really been fun doing this. I feel like an artist again after many decades of not feeling like one, or a few decades, I don't know. Okay. All right, more to come. So we've got it filled in about this high, and now we're gonna step on it one last time before we put some sand and gravel and recycled bottles in there for insulation. So that's what we're gonna do now. I just decided to do a pre-leveling check before I put the sand in, and it's amazingly level already. If you can see that level there, just from eyeball leveling it as I worked with that, without trying to be super level, just having a sense of balance, and there it is. So when we get the sand in there, after the glass bottle insulation, we'll do the final complete leveling and get a real level surface for the fire brick. That's all you really need the level for is your floor of the oven. Everything else can be kind of organic and natural flowing, curvy even. But the floor of the oven has to be flat and level. Okay, got the recycled glass bottles in now, and I'm covering them with straw, which also has insulating properties. Each stalk of straw is like a hollow tube, and something's exciting the dogs here. And hollow tubes, anything with air in it, bottles, whatever, will provide insulation to the structure. So I will put the rest of this straw on there and then cover it all with layers of sand, the finest sand at the top to go under the fire bricks. So here we can see the 3 different types of sand I'm using. So right here is the very rough sand with some little pebbles in it that I covered the insulation layer with. And then over there, that wetter looking stuff that I'm putting on now is the filtered screened sand that just has little tiny pebbles in it. And then on the top, I hope you can see this, it will be this very fine sand. And this is sand that I dug up and filtered a long time ago for these bags, these sandbags. And the sandbags wore out, and I can use the sand that's in those that is pretty fine to put right underneath the fire bricks, which will be going in here. So yeah, this is medium, fine, and the rough stuff is right over the glass bottles and straw. Okay, that's enough for now.